Hello, all my history-loving friends. We are on Route 66 again. Today, we are in Carthage, Missouri, going to Boots Court Motel. It was built in 1939 on Route 66 by Arthur Boots and has been restored to the condition it was in 1939. The sign is an exact replica of the original. We're also going to be talking very briefly about Clark Gable. Clark Gable, for those who are young, was a huge movie star in the 1930s. He's most famous for playing Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, but my favorite Clark Gable movie is It Happened One Night with Claudette Colbert. It is such a good movie. When he stayed here the first time, he had just lost his wife, Carol Lombard, in a terrible plane accident that killed everybody on board. She was on the plane headed to do exactly what he was here for in 1942, which was to sell war bonds. And sadly, her plane crashed. I'm not sure what month he was here. He joined the Army in August, so it had to have been before then. I'm going to guess he was here anywhere from 4 to 6 months after Carol was killed. I was not able to find any newspaper articles about that first visit. I did find articles about the 1947 visit when he came to see his Army buddy. Clark Gable joined the Army Air Corps in August of 1942. Clark Gable was trained to be a photographer, so he flew missions with bomber crews and he documented their missions. According to records, he went on 5 combat missions, but veterans report he went on far more missions than is in the record. They were in combat situations. He was trained as a gunner, so he would have been firing back at the enemy. So although he was technically a filmmaker, he was in absolute combat conditions. And when he came back in 1947, he was here to visit an Army friend. So we stayed in 2 different rooms, but I got an in-depth tour of the motel and how it was restored. It has now changed hands to a new owner who will finish fixing up the rooms that have not yet been restored. Right now it's set up so that you have a very authentic 1930s experience when you stay there. And I hope that will remain true. So none of the rooms have televisions. They only have radios so that you will know what it was like to stay there in the 1930s and the 1940s.
Okay, this is the first room that I restored in this building. So we had 8 rooms all total. And this is the first one that I did. And this is the Clark Gable room. He stayed here in 1942 promoting war bonds.
Oh, wow.
And then he came back again in 1946 when the back building was, or 47, when the back building was completed. And that was an addition in the back. So at that time he was stopping off and visiting Army buddies. So he's been here twice and it's confirmed.
Did he stay in this room both times? Or?
Just, he stayed in this one first and then in number 10. In
the
10. Annex that was over there. So these have been very completed to what they were like back in the day.
Oh my God, this is such a night and day with what I just saw.
Yeah, the floor was 4x8 sheets of plywood that I laid out and sanded and stained, and then I drew the board lines in with magic marker.
Oh.
So it has a look of the original, but we didn't want to use anything that was laminate or whatever that would be.
So you had to replace the floor?
Yeah.
Basically, okay.
Yeah,
I noticed it looked pretty rough in that room.
Yeah. And these were, these first 4 rooms had kitchenettes, and the ones further over had pass-throughs. So
there was a kitchenette right here?
Yeah, they could use it for a kitchenette. Of course, now it's a computer desk. That shows you how times change with the light. All of that is all original. And everything in here has been completely put back the way it was. Everything is stucco.
Clark Gable turned this light on in 1942?
Yes. Yeah, and his shower, you can actually step in his shower. And this shower, or this sink, is original to the 1939. And also the shelf up here is original, and the light above it is original. And
guys, Clark Gable put his razor right there, probably.
Yeah, and then if you turn around and look at the shower, a lot of men question why is the shower head so low. And back in the 40s and 50s, women wanted to keep her hair dry. And the windows tipped in, and we have just a few of them, and we've made new models. to be exactly like they were before, but the floors and everything again are, and this is original hardware.
Oh, neat.
And Arthur Boots
The
made,
doorknob too?
yeah, the doorknob
That
and
looks
everything.
good for its age.
That's
Nice and
original.
clear.
Yeah, and Arthur Boots made these doors himself, so that's why they're so thick.
Oh, they're heavy too.
Yeah, yeah, and the front door and all that. All of those were added in there, so made quite a deal, quite a job.
Well, you did a fabulous job. This is really cool.
Now we're still getting some, cleaning up a little bit
Gold
here.
diggers and
But the new owners will be coming in, and they're going to close up and then go ahead and finish it off. They have more money, so they can just do it all at one time.
So, do you know what more they're going to do, or are they going to make changes in rooms like this
Everything's
one?
going to be original. They're going to stay with the way everything is done, and so they're going to come in and do pretty much what I did. There might be some changes. Now they can do whatever they want to as far as the government is concerned. It's the outside that you can't mess with.
Fluorescence or something?
Yeah, and it's authentic to the original one, and it's like being around the nuclear power plant. It has that kind of glow,
Oh,
which is really neat.
and I'm hoping you guys are going to turn these on
Oh,
tonight. Okay.
Yeah, they'll be turning on at sunset.
Which is not that far from now, which is a big bummer.
Show you.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen a heating system like that.
Yeah, and it's gas fired,
So
very safe.
I'm showing my ignorance here, but so there would have been something fired
There was a flame.
down
little-
there
Yeah, a little
under each room.
under each room. Yeah,
Okay.
and there was a metal box that goes under there, so it's not like open to anything.
Huh.
And so we tell people over in the other back building, there's still some that are in operation. We tell them don't put anything over it because it'll melt.
I can see why you can't use it
Yeah.
because people are
And
stupid.
you don't want to. You don't want to.
A lot of people are stupid. These radios are awesome. Where did they get those? Just going through antique stores?
Yeah, these are replica radios.
Oh, okay.
And so we have a few that are different.
Uh-huh.
And again, that's pretty much all that was here.
I like the old furniture. That's cool.
Yeah. And they have a little heater.
In 1947, Clark Gable stopped in Carthage. He had been visiting out east and he was flying back to LA, and he stopped in Carthage to see his army buddy Fletcher Cupp. He was the sports reporter for the Carthage Press. This is a picture of him in 1929 when he was a senior in high school.
Here you can see on the wall over here the picture that's hanging.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a picture of the newspaper here when he stayed here. And there were fluorescent lights on either side of the mirror. That's the original mirror, and they had spittoons. And the desks were all built in. And so this was a little different because it was much larger. And the floor, we just polyurethaned over it with clear.
Yeah, that looks good.
So we could show just exactly what it was like.
So that desk is original, it's built
Yes,
into the
they're all
wall.
built in.
Wow.
They had desks, and had the mirrors, and had the fluorescent lights. Those have been removed to be restored
Oh, I see.
in time, and that's why I left this door original. You can see it's kind of worn and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the only doorknob in this building that's original, and this is the one that Clark Gable used when he used here. And at that time, soon after the new addition was put in, there were 4 doors underneath, overhead doors. And so when he stayed here, he was able to park his car in, and I think he had a Jaguar at the time, they said. And he came up the stairs and then entered his room this way. With underneath is garages.
Oh, under here?
Yeah.
Under the
Right
ground?
under.
Well, very
So-
cool.
So that, and this had to be taken down.
Oh.
And so it'll look like that. It gives you an idea of
Uh-huh.
what they had, brick and this and that.
Makes sense.
And you can see right here that this door has a slope in it. And
It does.
And that window slopes this way. And that's because there was a settling right here.
Oh.
And they didn't do a real good job of it, but instead of squaring it out, they just left it this way, so it's kind of weird.
Okay. Yeah.
If it had been me, but it's one of those Ripley believe it or not things.
It is bizarre looking.
Yeah, so we just left it alone.
Oh. As long as the ground won't fall out from underneath me, I guess it's all right.
Yeah. So anyway, the car was just sitting out there. It was a rusty brown color, and then the two sisters thought, well, we'll get this and we'll make a police car out of it. And it never got around to it. But one day, a deputy sheriff from up here on the hill came in and said, could we take that car and see if we can make it look a little better for you? And she said yes. And when they came back, that's what they brought back.
That's fabulous.
And so we call it the speed trap of Carthage.
Do people actually slow down?
Well, I don't know. They look and everything, but when they see it, it's an old car.
Yeah.
But this siren belongs to Lowell, and he donated that. The antenna, I put that on it, and we got a mannequin. We couldn't find a male mannequin, so we had to put a mustache on this.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and he looks just like the sheriff. And so they make a little joke about that. But it's about 2 years ago, some drunk guy pulled in here and hit the front of the car, and the sheriff guys came over and they sent it over to job and it got fixed. So it's pretty neat. It draws a lot of attention during the summer when people are coming by. This is what draws people first.
The car. Yeah. Well, it's where I went first. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you liked it, please subscribe. Please hit like. Make a comment. If you have ever traveled Route 66, let me know what your story was. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next time for our next historical adventure.